just two, me and you. Oh, oh, I can't believe you love me. Oh, oh, I just feel so lucky. Oh, oh, still can't believe you love me. I hope it never ends. Let's being more than friends. Yeah. You know I'm here to stay every single day. Yeah. So hold me tight through the night. It's just us two, me and you. Oh, oh, I can't believe you love me. Oh, oh, I just feel so lucky. Oh, oh, still can't believe you love me.
Hello and welcome. Welcome and hello. Time for another episode of Mixing and Chilling with Hunky Vape. And once again, we have our guest, Kenny, the Vaping Heed, here with us today. Another fun-filled day. How are you all doing out there? The Vaping Snowman, hello. I see you dropping in there. Fantastic. I was just telling Kenny, I says, how close are you to Scotland? Because our latest bit of news I just happened to come across today after coming back from camp is, from today, it is an offense to smoke within 15 meters of any hospital building in Scotland. Experience from the smoking ban inside buildings was that smokers stopped smoking indoors and moved outside, with few prosecutions required. Will this be the same for the outdoor ban? Interesting. And then there's a link that actually goes to the legislation that we pulled up here. Prohibition of smoking outside hospital buildings in Scotland, Regulations 2022. You have to put notices up.
Theoretically, you're not allowed to smoke on hospital grounds now, as it stands in the UK. You've got to go totally off the grounds to have a smoke. But a lot of people obviously still ignore that. But that's what it is now in the UK. You're not allowed to smoke actually on the grounds. So,
yes, but if you take a look at the fine print on the posters, it says "Quit your way with our support." And basically where they announce the fact that there's no smoking allowed on hospital grounds. On the very bottom of this poster, they have it on there that you can use an electronic cigarette on the grounds, but not in the building.
Yeah.
So that, I think, is a bit of fantastic news. They ban the smoking, but they allow you to use your vape.
That's brilliant. Absolutely awesome.
And that's the perfect way to encourage a smoker. Hey, I don't have to leave the premises if I pick up one of those. What is that?
Exactly. I don't think they'd have the big cloud chuggers on the premises, like they draw the line.
Probably not. Probably not. Hey, well, you're not allowed to smoke. It's not smoke. Oh, well, you're making a lot of vapor there. It is what it is. Lance Ward, hello and welcome. Ian Thomas, hello.
Hello,
welcome
Ian.
To the live stream. That's right, Mallory Gates. Vaping is not smoking.
Nope.
Therefore, if they banned smoking, they did not ban vaping. I was checking on that picture and I had to zoom in, and fortunately, it's exactly what it says on the bottom. You may vape on hospital grounds, just not inside the building.
I think that's obviously because the smoke alarms, etc., inside there as well. So you can't be like.
As I found out myself,
Have you done
you
that
get a little excessive. You can set off the smoke alarm.
That's one of the reasons, I don't vape much in the house, because obviously we've got smoke alarms all over it here. It's just part and parcel of building regulations now. So, and there has been none where people have actually covered them up with shower caps to stop them setting them off, but obviously, that's a safety issue, so you can't be doing stuff like that, Put your shower cap on your smoke alarm. Wow. Crazy.
I also saw a bit of news on there stating that they have removed the stalls at one of the schools in England, and the students are quite upset about that.
Oh. Well, it doesn't take much to get the kids upset in this day and age, does it? When you think about it.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Oh, but yeah, so just a good thing at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like I say, encourage the vaping and not the smoking. All for it. Definitely.
I'm trying to adjust the compressor here so that we can still maintain the music in the background, but when you talk, it cuts the volume down so people can still hear you.
Ah. He likes fiddling with things, people.
There we go. That's a dramatic cut. At least for mine, it is.
You happy with that?
What do you guys think out there? Can you hear them?
Hello, 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 hello. Yoo-hoo.
Fantastic.
Brilliant.
So, like I was saying earlier on, I finally got a vape mail package in, and that's what we're going to start off with today.
Ooh, you lucky man. Vape mail. You lucky person, yeah.
And it's not actual vape gear, it is DIY stuff.
Ah. You've been at the juice farm again, have you? Been ordering more juices and shopping?
Yes, definitely.
He's been at the supply store.
Well, I had taken a look at my inventory of vegetable glycerin and realized it was running a little bit low.
Oh, well. So that's a must.
Before I get to the point where, we're out of it, had to pick up 2 liters of it.
Oh my God. Let's face it, you don't do nothing by half, do you?
Negative. Bull City Flavrz, fantastic. Not quite overnight delivery, but pretty close. I placed another order this weekend because it was Labor Day. And they had a sale off, like everybody. 15% off.
Well,
place an order and it'll be here tomorrow.
It's not to be sniffed at, that is, if you're getting some discount of some sort. So, got to be done.
30 ml bottles. That's my last one there. We blew through that last supply I ordered. I've got 60s and 120s, but when I'm mixing a random recipe, I don't think I need a massive bottle.
No.
Well, like last week, we did the Prince because I know I love that thing. And this week, I actually want to do, what do you think of banana?
Hitty missy, because I've never had a good one.
Oh, how about a banana marshmallow custard tart?
Oh, see, no, you always do that, don't you? He puts the custard in.
Yeah, and the banana is like a side note so that you just get a whiff of it or a hint of it. It's not overpowering. The custard is the primary.
I think the last banana one was more like a candy, and it actually tasted like the candy sweets that used to get banana flavor, and it was just a bit too sickly. Too sweet.
Well, Mallory Gates gave me the recipe. I talked about this last week about butter pecan pie, and I was missing the pie crust flavoring, so
now
I'll pick that up in this. Now, I noticed I took a look at her recipe earlier on, and I realized that her pecan was different brand. I have Purellum butter pecan, so I'm going to substitute that out. Plus, I also noticed, because when she first posted the recipe and I first started doing the DIY, I saved her recipe into my recipes, and she changed her sweetener. She was using super sweet before.
Oh, so it's been tweaked, eh?
Yeah, and now it's VSO sweetener. So I'm going to have to substitute something else out because I do not have VSO sweetener. I do, however, have Flavrz sweetener. So I'm going to give that a try.
You've probably got something there.
And another sweetener I picked up today was from Vape Train. It's called Sugar Mate.
Oh.
I wanted to get a variety and assortment of these different flavorings, these different sweeteners flavorings, because each of them has a different concentration of like ethyl maltol and stevia, and the other sweetener chemicals. So, and some of them have multiple ones in there. The VSO one I happen to look on there has, I think, 4 different types of sweeteners in it.
Yeah.
And those 4 sweeteners, have the right proportion, so it doesn't mute it and allows you to truly sweeten the outcome. But I'm using one of my juices I had on steep now. I've had it going for a couple of days. The pineapple, blueberry, and guava. And I think sorry about that. I think I'm getting a boys on the Xbox, and I'm getting a blinging announcement. The pineapple, blueberry, and guava. It's done and dusted, and I'm quite impressed. Very nice. Been steeped for 4 weeks. Fantastic.
It's very, very nice. I mean, it was just a one-shot thing, I'm not the advanced mixer yet, but
everybody needs to get their feet wet, and that's exactly how you do it. You buy yourself a one-shot, You use a single ingredient and you start on your path on the DIY journey. And then once you realize how simple that was, then you go, okay, well, what if I move it to 2 ingredients?
Yeah,
You know?
this is it. And I even invested in some scales as well. I bought some nice little scales as well.
Yeah, they're actually relatively inexpensive. I mean, the one that I got, I picked up with a starter kit, but you can buy, they have them for jewelry, little scales like this. $15, $20 is all it costs to be able to pick something up like that.
Pretty much what I paid for it, actually. Which I think was 15 English pounds, whatever that is in dollars.
Lance Ward says in some hospitals in the UK, you can buy vaping stuff. Yes. There are 2 hospitals that I know of that have vape shops in the actual hospital.
Yeah, they're in the foyer. I think it's just Birmingham's one of them. Where's the other one? Down south from me, like. And now Birmingham's one. Can't think the other one off the top of my head. Oh, God.
Chasing Clouds and Flavor Reviews. Hello and welcome.
Oh, hello, sir. Or madam, whoever you may be.
Ogolkanyanmez. Welcome. Hello. Forgive me if I didn't pronounce your name correctly. Dusty Country Road says he's got an order from Central Vape on its way.
Oh,
fantastic.
Nice.
I think you can buy secret sauce directly from them still. Mallory says any sweetener works. Awesome. So we're going to use this Flavrz sweetener and give that a try.
Jason Clouds has just touched on one there. If anyone here likes blueberry and has had trouble finding a good one, the brand new FW Sweet Blueberry is the only one I'll ever need again. There you go.
Oh, I just picked up a bottle of the Flavor West blueberry flavor. Somebody had mentioned last week or week before that it was a really good one, so I picked that up. I also got a Flavor West white chocolate. Keep the wifey happy because she requested a couple weeks back.
Yes, I remember that.
Raspberry chocolate, and the only white chocolate that I had was white chocolate peppermint. So now she can have the white chocolate without the peppermint.
There you go.
We got TFA sweetened tart flavor. TFA white chocolate, a little variety and assortment, and some Flavor West cotton candy, which is literally just a sweetener.
Now it is. It's making me hungry now, sitting here with all this blinking stuff going on.
So we'll put these off to the side. I'm looking forward to that Prince ripening over there.
Oh, yeah.
Last week we mixed up that strawberry custard. Take a look at it after it's been sitting here.
Look, he's rubbing it in now. Nice? Is it nice? Go on. Tell me it's nice. Go on.
Custard still isn't very prominent. Just get the strawberry. Let's throw in a little bit more on this dripper.
Well, what I gather, like custards do take a while to steep, apparently.
Yes.
That's what I've been told, so, general information I've picked up on them.
Flavrz had told me and mentioned to me that, if you use their flavors, you don't need to let them ripen as long. It can take something that would be like a couple months long and you can let it ripen in a matter of days. So I mixed up this batch of this banana marshmallow custard tart a while back, and I tried it and it was good, but I didn't feel like the banana was strong enough. And I did get the custard, relatively early. Well, now it's been sitting here for well over a month. I might be 2 or 3 by now. And that's what I've been vaping exclusively all this past weekend. I just threw a stock coil in the Odin, and this is what we went up to camp with.
Very nice. Very nice, sir.
A subtle banana, nice sweetness, and you do get that custard base to it.
Yeah.
It's just a perfect balance of it. And when I first got it, I asked him, how much can I push this banana to? Because I don't feel like the banana was strong enough. But after it's been sitting here for a month, man, it's fantastic, perfectly balanced.
It's come through nicely, yeah?
Yeah.
With this one, this one's been come out spot on. It's just massive pineapple on the inhale, blueberry aftertaste. I think the guava is just maybe it's just the sweetness in it, because I think guava is like a sweet fruit anyway, isn't it?
And that's the one that you did a one shot of.
Yeah. Oh, it's tremendous. And it's out of my comfort zone as well. I've got pineapple out of that. Oh, God, I bet it's horrible, but it's actually quite nice.
It's surprising. It's surprising what flavors actually do, appeal to you that you never would have thought about.
I think that's what it is, because I think, like, as you progress through your vaping journey type of thing, you'll tend to go with, a certain kind of flavor, whether it be the fruits, bakeries, and you kind of stick to what you know after that, don't you? You think, all right, I like that, and you'll kind of stick to what you know, and then you'll kind of, if you pardon the pun, you kind of get ignorant to other stuff that's out there, because obviously you're just going to stick with what you know. And then obviously, when you say, right, I'm going to push the boat, I'm going to try that, and then you're just like, whoa, where have I been?
That's exactly what it was for me with the blue raspberry cotton candy. This was my all day vape every day. This is what I always fell back to, regardless of what I tried out or whatnot. And it was so wonderful to be able to put that aside this week. And I took that as my spare, as my backup, just in case, if I got tired of this one after a while, after a day or two. But this is such a pleasant experience that it's become my new all day vape. And it's fascinating that now when I go and I take a drag on the blue raspberry, all of a sudden it literally tastes more vibrant than it did last week when I was vaping it all the time. Gives your taste buds a chance to clean.
Yeah, that's it, because you'll get used to it. Like I said, sometimes you get your vapor's tongue up because you're that used to it, and then you'll get the vapor's tongue and you're thinking, oh, here we go. But then as soon as you're back to normal, you're back on the same stuff. So you're like, I mean, I've loved it's commercial stuff by Butter Vapes, and they've done like a jammy cake Dodgers or something. Honestly, it was a bit like a cherry bakewell, and it was gorgeous. Honestly, I used to literally drink the stuff. I was just absolutely loved it. They've done that, and they've done a lemon one. So I can't remember the name, and it was like a meringue, like a lemon meringue. And oh God, I was like, boom, boom, boom. Honestly, I used to go through bottles of it, and then, like I said, I got like a vapor's tongue after a while, because that was just all I'd done. I just didn't try anything, and then obviously now, I'm pushing the boat out a bit now, trying different stuff, so bit of variety, because the spice of life, as they say.
Yeah. Sean Lynch says, "Hi, Vaping Heed."
Oh, hi, Sean. He's always following us lot around him. He's brilliant.
So, what's the device you got in your hand today, Kenny?
Well, today, I'm being a bit naughty. I haven't got my little mouth to lung. I have got the Blaze RT on top of my G-Class V2.
Ooh.
That's my vape's latest RT. And I think I'll just get that in the camera there. There you go. A bit of screen on. Absolutely love this RT. It's absolutely, he's nailed it again. Honestly, he brings out some cracking gear, like Mike. And this is dynamite. But it's top airflow, and I'm kind of like, I think that's my preference now with RTs, because like I say, you get no leaks, nothing like that. The worst scenario is you get a flood, which you can easily fix. There's no leaks, and that's why I like them. But yeah, it's beautiful.
Still got the Lost Vape Dilemma Quest, and like I said, that was the Odin, Aspire Odin, with a stock coil in there. We're using that all weekend, and I re-wicked the Arbiter before we went to camp. And that's on the Dove Po. Odin, O-D-I-N, as opposed to O-D-A-N.
Is that the one that Bogan released with them as well?
No, this one was just a straight up Aspire product that was put out 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. Shortly after we started vaping, this was one of the ones that became my all day thing. I did smock and found this thing, and I loved it because it's a top fill. You lift up and slide to fill it, and then this thing will lock in place because you have to literally lift the top ring up.
Yeah.
And then slide fill. And then the other advantage of this one is you can change the coil This was one of the first tanks that came out with it, where there's a valve inside there.
Oh, so you can just lift it off with the juice in, basically, so you don't have to drain it, yeah?
So if you pull this out, other than the juice that's going to drip out of the coil itself, no juice is going to leak out of here. Because there's a valve in there.
Clever idea, like, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, because it never fails. You just fill your tank up, you take your second or third drag on it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, that coil just went.
I've been there before. That's why I'm like, I mean, I don't mind a sub-ohm tank, but I just hate it when like your coil always burns out when you're out and about or something and you haven't got a spare. It always picks its moments. You know what I mean? When you be out in the middle of nowhere and coil's burnt out and you're like, oh, no spare coil.
William Dobson says, banana custard, I've had only one that you liked. Well, I'm going to show you the recipe that I used to make this one up. If you're interested, you can pick up the ingredients from
Flavrz. It's got that magic word in, I mean.
That it does. Let's see if our zoom in works today. Of course not. I'm going to try a little trick here I picked up when I was trying to diagnose why it was doing it. Here, I had this thing working perfectly. And then what happened is they updated the script because they wanted to make it Mac compatible. Right. And it went from being a window capture to an app capture. And the thing is, Chrome adds the name of the web page that you're on to its name, depending on what tab you're on.
I'm with you.
So it's not working today. Anyway, here's the recipe, and I think this is what we're going to mix up off the bat because I really do love this. And I want another bottle. And if you're interested, Kenny, I'll make 2 of these and send one to you so you can give it a try.
Legend. You're a legend. Tell you about the magic word in. Just hurry it over.
Fantastic.
You know, I need to snap out of this custard malarkey.
My wife said the same thing to me because she does not like custard.
I don't know. I just find it. I mean, I like it as it. You know, I do like custard as well. You know, it's like Devon Ambrosia creamy custard. Oh man, when you buy it, it just melts in the mouth. It's gorgeous stuff.
Well, I remember, a long time, growing up as a kid, I would love vanilla pudding. And then somebody made a custard for me, and I'm like, oh, that is way better than pudding.
Yes. Well, the same company does it with rice pudding as well. They do creamed rice pudding as well, and oh my God, Jesus, just go off the planet, woohoo! When you're on that, lovely, absolutely gorgeous stuff.
Fantastic. So I'll put these off to the side.
But yeah,
start with banana.
I forgot this is a bit of a cloud chucker, this little tank. Oof, dear me. If you don't see us, I'll probably be stuck behind a few clouds. Shit.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's actually not a bad setup. Like I said, I've got some NI80 fuse clappings in dual cores. They're coming out at around, they're coming out at 0.16 and vaping at 90 watts, and it's absolutely delicious. What can I say? See, that's why I'm not allowed to vape in the house so much, because I like them warm, a little bit warm, not too hot, but I like a warm vape.
There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody has to find what works best for them. Some like it cooler, some like it hotter.
Yeah. Oh, I do like them hot. I'm not like some, what do they call them again? Oh, the Batman, fucking up the Batman, 200 watts and everything. Jesus, he must have iron lungs. Jesus Christ.
It also depends on what coil you're putting inside there.
Oh, what? But still. I've tried a 200 watt vape once, never again. After I was on my hands and knees for an hour trying to breathe some oxygen. Jesus Christ, no. How than that? I think the worst thing I've ever done was a dry hit on a mesh. Oh my God, that is bad.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of people don't like mesh, because it's such a finicky thing. You have to wick it properly. You have to bend the mesh properly.
I think it's one of them things. It's not very forgiving. You've either got to get it right, or it just doesn't work. There's just no room for error.
Yeah,
not at all. It's just if you don't get it right, then good luck with it. That's all I could say. Make sure you're near some cold liquid or something that you can drink lots of it. But yeah, no, not mesh coils. Well, I don't mind a mesh now and then, but
I love how saturated the vape is when you're using a mesh tank.
Oh, when you get them right, nice. I mean, I can't deny that. They're absolutely lovely when you get them right. But I think with the meshes as well, I don't know, like in the earlier days, they were a cold vape.
Yeah.
You couldn't really crank them up, so I think that was probably one of the reasons why I wasn't a fan of them. But then again, I think then Smock came along with that TBF V18 and put the mesh sub-ohm coils in there that you can vape 140 watts on. You're like, what?
The thing for me that really cemented in how good mesh vape can be was the Steam Crave Titan.
Yeah.
With the Titan, it's a dual parallel mesh.
That's right, yeah.
Or no, dual series mesh.
Yeah.
So you only get half the amperage going across your mesh.
That's correct, yeah.
But it was so beautiful, flavor-wise and saturated vape. And that finally got me to the point where I realized, you know what? There is an upper extreme that I cannot do constantly. It's just, up until then, I was like, I want more vape. How much vape can I possibly make? And then I had that one, and it's like, oh, okay, that's enough. I'll reach my limit.
Yeah. That Titan's a cracking tank. I'm just getting that Aromizer Plus V3. Oh my God, that's probably the best. That's the best one they brought out yet when the Aromizer range. Like, the flavor's fantastic on it. Oh my God.
It's on the way.
Oh, I'll tell you.
After I realized that I had the Supreme and not the Plus V3,
yeah,
I'm like, yep, I need that.
I wasn't actually going to get it. I just came across it by chance. It was just a too good to deal. Basically, I thought, oh, I'm having that one for that. Definitely. It's just, one of them deals that just come across and you go, nah, can't leave that. So I ended up getting it. It was, well, I'm glad I did now. Honestly, fantastic.
Now, this might seem a little excessive, but when you love custard, you love custard. 14% of this recipe is custard.
Really get in there.
Mm-hmm.
You can round it off to 15 if you want.
And then contrary to that, we have super sweet is only 0.5%, so that's only going to be 0.6 for this 120 ml bottle.
Wow, that's strange.
Well, unlike a lot of the other flavors that we use, like if you get a like the raspberry, even the simple raspberry, that is just the raspberry part of the flavor. There's no sweetness to that. You choose how much sweetness you want to add to the raspberry.
I'm with you, yeah.
So like the blue raspberry, you can't just take blue raspberry and then vape that, because it's literally just the blueberry aspect of it, the blueberry flavor.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the raspberry flavor. There's no sweetness to it. You need to make the sweetness in there, and then you can make it from a flavor that just smells like it to something that actually tastes like it.
See. It's all in the mix. Do apologise. I have to mute my phone because it's being gone off again.
Now, this is smooth, something that the commercial mixers use whenever they're coming up with their formulations for very high flavor content liquids, like this one. This one, it have 30% flavoring in this. So what they do is they add smooth to it. And smooth, let me look at the recipe here. Acetylpyrazine, I think it is. I thought I could have I swore I saw it on the recipe. Do I even have the tab open anymore? No, I closed it. Regardless, it is a safe ingredient for you to be using for inhalation. And this is just basically to round out and smooth out the flavoring profiles to remove any harshness that may get from the accumulation of too much acidic content.
Yeah.
And this is only 0.7% anyway.
Very little, yeah.
But it's because of them that I've literally gotten to the point where it's like, you know what? Everybody says, oh, you only need 2 or 3% of your flavors. You only need a max of maybe 10, 15% flavors. But when I did my raspberry lemonade, I said, you know what? I'm going to push this raspberry until I think that it is where it needs to be for the flavor that I'm expecting to get out of it. And that's why the total concentration of flavoring in that recipe is 19%. 9% of it is the raspberry.
Yeah. I think that's part and parcel of mixing yourself. There's no wrongs or rights, you know. You do it how you like it, basically. You know what I mean? So it's like you say, all flavors are subjective, aren't they? Really, to everybody's taste. So you know, can't please everybody.
And then the rest of it is literally just vegetable glycerin because it's a 70-30 mix. So literally pull the cap off of this one, pour it in there. And recipe job done.
So easy. It is so easy. You make it look so easy.
It's that simple. And this is a 0 milligram thing, and you would obviously put as much nic in it as you see fit for your needs. But
well, you put as much sauce in as not that word sauce.
And as you can see, that's what it looks like when it's raw. You can see there's some striations in there. That's because the vegetable glycerin is thicker than the flavoring ingredients.
Yeah.
Give it a good shake. And that's what she looks like after it's shaken up. No more striations, just some bubbles in there. Let this sit. And in a month, that's going to be perfect.
See, that's me downside with mixing's the waiting time. But it's got to be done.
And for custards, it does.
Yeah.
If you're just straight up fruits, shake and vape, no problem.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, the shake and vapes are usually more flavorful than if you do let them sit for a while.
Oh, I think the do. As long as you steep, obviously, the better the flavour, without a doubt. Definitely. Oh, custards. Love them. I need to branch out a bit.
Let's jump over to our YouTube chat. See what's going on there.
We've been ignoring them again.
That's why this is still the beta version of stuff, because once I'm getting, I've got a bunch of stuff that I'm adding to this thing. You know, obviously some alerts and whatnot. Matter of fact, let me throw some fireworks on screen here. Hit 1,000 subs.
Wee-hey! Well done, sir.
Fantastic.
Congrats. Well done.
But I'm working on the streamer bot that's going to be augmenting this, and it's going to be monitoring chat and stuff. And then you guys can put your birthdays in, and then whenever it's your birthday, and you come onto the live stream, it'll automatically celebrate your birthday for you.
Oh, hey.
Bunch of stuff.
You're getting good.
But then the other thing is, like I was telling him, I says, you know, OBS 28 came out, so I think once I decide to actually implement that, once they get the plugins working for that, I'm going to start from scratch, because I want to simulcast both on YouTube and on Twitch. Just in case something happens, it's already set up, ready to go. And then if YouTube decides to clamp down, well, I can still live stream in another platform.
There's I was going to say, does Rumble not let you live stream yet? Or is that just uploading?
You can do it on there, but you got to pay for it.
You got to pay for it, yeah. That's fair enough.
It's kind of like you do your Zoom subscription.
Right, like a subscription-based thing. Well, I've just opened up a bit on Rumble, so I'll put a couple of videos up there, so I'll see how it goes with that.
The problem, Dusty Country Road asked me, how do I like the Aspire Flex pack that I got on my 4th day of Christmas? It has the potential to do a lot of flavor, but it's mainly designed for mouth to lung. So you got to make sure your coils are small enough in there and high enough of a resistance so that you don't generate too much heat. But it does produce decent flavor. I picked it up on clearance because that thing is, what do you think, 8 years old maybe? The quad flex pack. It's an attachment that fits onto a Nautilus foil, if I remember correctly. Didn't make enough clouds for me, and that's why I'm not using it now. But if I was a mouth to lung vapor, that would be something that I would definitely be dabbling in. Dusty Country Road says he's also vaping cornbread pudding. That's definitely an American classic.
It's
a country classic.
I can't say I've had that. Yeah, I can't say I've had that pleasure. There'll be a recipe for it somewhere. Guarantee it.
Mallory says, I think my OBS engine was $35. The middle positive post ended up popping out. Ooh.
Oh.
I picked up a couple OBS stuff, but I never got around to opening them or reviewing them.
I think, I mean, I've got the engine too, and I think, I mean, it's weird to coil it because the coils hang rather than sit up. You know, you hang your coils up the deck. But they were one of the early top airflow tanks, them, and I never had no issues with mine. Like I thought they still are. They're pretty good tank. Flavour of them. They're just weird to set up because you hang your coils underneath rather than push them in the top. They were a bit finicky to build, but bar that, they were spot on. Caliburn JK2.
Oglekin asked, I just bought a Caliburn GK2 and 2 bottles of homemade e-liquid, but I got a problem about the e-liquid. I can't get the tobacco taste. It's just bitter taste. Do you have a solution for me? Did you make the homemade recipe or did somebody else make it for you? Because that's something that, you know, I talked about briefly before. If you're going to be putting something into like a mouth to lung tank or even like this Aspire, you need a higher concentration of flavoring in order for you to actually taste it because you're not making as much cloud. Just take a look at this right here. That's the clouds that makes. Then you got like your cloud checker and like what Kenny's got, the Blaze today. Well, that didn't make very much that time.
Sometimes a thinner juice helps as well because a lot of MTL users use a 50-50 mix.
Yes. If your juice is too thick, you can thin it out to a 50-50 concentration. Yeah. Propylene glycol is the carrier for the flavor, so that can help there with that aspect of it. But if it's just tasting bitter, I don't think it was a very good recipe. It shouldn't be bitter.
You could always check your coil. You may have made an error and burnt it out.
The thing is, he's got a Caliburn, so his is definitely tiny coils and mouth to lung. What you could do is you could take your e-liquid that you have, just put a drop on your knuckle there, and taste it. You should be able to vape it and get that same basic taste. That's a strawberry custard from last week.
I normally do a knuckle test on some of them, but I normally do before I put the magic sauce in.
Yeah. Although if you do it afterwards, because it's just a small, tiny drop, I mean, what do you got? Maybe a 1/10 of a mil?
Oh, yeah.
So, even if you had a 6 in there, you're only getting 0.6. It's the equivalent of, you know, sitting here and taking a couple toots on your vape.
To definitely check your juice. Like, it could have made a bad batch or getting a bad batch. Like I say, I don't know if you made it yourself or whatever. Or even try that juice in another tank if you've got another tank to see if it's any better in the other tank.
Yeah. But for it to be bitter like that, that's unusual, especially for tobacco. Tobaccos are usually sweet and caramel flavor.
Yeah, very sweet tobaccos.
I was hesitant about ever trying the tobaccos because once I got away from tobacco, I didn't want to have anything to do with it. Then you come to find out when you're DIY, it's basically just a caramel kind of nutty note. It's not really tobacco like we think of tobacco.
No, that's what I'm saying. That was my exact way of thinking. I've never ever touched tobacco. So I'm thinking, well, I'm trying to get away from it. So why do I want to vape it? Thinking the cigarette tobacco, but obviously they're not.
Yeah.
They're very sweet.
All right, time to get to Mallory's pecan pie, I think.
Oh, he's been waiting. Yes, he's been chomping at the bit to do this, guys.
Oh,
he's actually been chomping.
So let's hop over to Chrome.
Oh, sorry, I was on
So this was her original recipe for it, the butter pecan. She's got Flavrz West. I have Pure Ellum. But she was running that at 5%. Pie crust was a 3%, and super sweet was a 2%. Now her current recipe for this, we have 3% of Flavrz West butter pecan, 3% of the crust, and 2% of sweet from VSO. I'm substituting Flavora for the sweetness. And as I chuck the flavors around, I have Pure Ellum for the butter pecan and TFA pie crust. So we're going to give this a try using the 332 that she's got here for this one. We're going to adapt this. I'm going to make 60. And we'll substitute out the flavor.
Sorry, I'm just catching up with chat a bit, just make sure. Keep up to date, everybody. There we go.
And that should be our recipe.
Sorry. Oh, butter. So we're going down for this hour. Butter pecan pie.
Some new bottles here.
Butter pecan pie crust. Those are like two flavors in it, isn't it? That's not bad.
Yeah, 2 flavors and then the sweetness.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is you can always add to it. So if I let this thing steep for 3 or 4 weeks and the 3% butter pecan wasn't enough to separate it from the pie crust, I could always bump up and add a little bit more to it.
Yeah.
But you can't take it out. So if I started with 5 and the butter pecan overdid it, I'd have to add pie crust to it, add sweetness to it, and then add the base to it on top of it.
Yeah.
To get everything back in the right percentages.
Yeah, just dial it down a bit. And the suggested steep time is only 14 days as well, so that's pretty short.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to this because I wanted to get this thing perfected so that this is going to be my Thanksgiving all day vape.
You've been itching to do that, Nick. I'll give you that. You've definitely been itching for that one. I think you'd actually see I think you'd actually see the disappointment on your face last week, and you thought, "I haven't got none of that. I'm going to have to get some." Oh dear me.
The other one that we're going to be doing, Mowgli Vape sent me a recipe a long time ago, even before I really started doing DIY heavy. I was like you, I was doing one shots. And Mowgli Vape sent me the recipe for eggnog. He was talking about it. And it's literally just Flavrz West eggnog.
Wow.
10%, and then he did some distilled water in there, nick it up, and the rest is just VG.
Eggnog, Jesus.
But that's because of the egg. You're going to have to let it steep for a good month or so. So if I want a nice Christmas eggnog, well, I need to have a perfect recipe before November.
I'll tell you what I was going to ask. Has anybody ever tried any savoury flavours? I mean, I've heard some weird ones kicking about, like bacon and stuff like that. I mean, does anybody come across anything like that? I can't imagine vaping stuff like that.
I haven't done it, but somebody sent Legion Vapes a ham and cheese sandwich.
Ham and cheese.
I'm sure. I'm not sure I would like to vape ham.
That's what I'm saying. Wait, maybe we put a bit of pickle on the side. It might be all right. No, I've heard somebody doing curried flavored vapes as well, like curry. God, and like. I mean, we could probably laugh, but like, I mean, when we started vaping, somebody says, "Oh, you're vaping such and such," and then you go, "Oh, I'm not going to vape that." And then when you've tried it, you've thought, "Oh, this is good." So I'm just wondering if it might the same route we might apply to savoury vapes, but at this moment in time, I can't see me vaping them like.
One of Phil Basardo's best videos, I think, was one where he tried. Somebody sent him some shrimp e-liquid.
Oh, God. Oh my God! Saying that, I've done a challenge when we're doing Bargain Vapes live. Oh God! I got sent a vape juice off one of our viewers, and it was a disgusting flavour. There was chilies and everything in it, and it was part of a forfeit. We had to vape this juice he made, and oh God, it was disgusting. It was like. How can I say it? Like mouldy cheese, I suppose. It just tasted very cheesy, off cheese, but it was hot. It was disgusting.
That would be pretty hard to do. Formulate cheese flavoring.
I don't think it was actually cheese flavor. That's what you got after you like vaped it. It just like smelled like off cheese. You know what I mean? When cheese goes stale, it was just kind of that.
But there's so many different flavors for cheese and scents for cheese too.
Yeah,
it's just like
it was disgusting. I think it was just something he just mixed together. Just said, "Here, try that." I don't even think he looked at what we put in it.
3.73.
It was bad. It was bad. In the lab.
Close enough. Close enough.
I mean, that's the beauty of it as well. You don't have to be exactly spot on, do you? You can go a little bit over or a little bit under, can't you? So
yeah,
it doesn't really make a great deal of difference. That's the beauty of it.
Look at it, 9.
Oh my God!
For PG.
Oh, sorry, but William Dobson, he said he's heard of a sausage roll flavoured vape. Sausage roll. That would be bad. Sausage roll vape, yuck.
Reminds me of Lad Baby. My wife really got into watching Lad Baby on YouTube. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of them. And they did this little parody song. Instead of "We Built the City on Rock and Roll," they did a parody song. We built the city on sausage rolls.
Sausage rolls.
It's a couple in England that does this for their YouTube.
We had a rude one. It was cock and dole. That was the rude version of it. It was terrible. Oh, pizza. Somebody's had a pizza one. Heard of a pizza vape? Oh, pizza. Now that would
could be interesting,
wouldn't it? Pizza. I mean, look, you've got hundreds of flavors of pizza to start with. That could be. Ooh. That could probably be doable. A pizza one.
I mixed up this cola recipe. It would go with that pizza quite well.
Yeah, pizza and a cola. One in one hand, one in the other. Hey, we got.
And even that, I can't believe that. I mixed that up the same time I did the marshmallow, and it was just fantastic. You know, when I first did it, I'm like,
Right.
well, this kind of tastes like one of those generic colas you buy for like a big family picnic, you know, in the 3-liter size.
Yeah.
But after it sat here for a while, now it's like a good quality cola, you know, like you would pick up at a bar. Throw a little bit of that whiskey in there, and a nice cherry whiskey cola, or rum and coke.
Rum and coke. Oh God.
Throw some rum flavor in it.
See, but are you a Pepsi or a Coca-Cola man? That's the question.
I'm a Coke.
You're a Coke man.
Mm.
That sounded wrong. You're a Coke man.
Yeah, in today's day and age, you're like, oh yeah?
Oh, well, that's just the norm, innit?
Is that why you keep rubbing your nose?
Is that why your beard's white?
Yeah. That would take an awful lot. That'd be a pretty expensive habit.
Making sure.
I'd rather spend it on cameras, actually.
True. Very true.
Now I
you
have
do.
pie crust, which is going to be fantastic because I've been really looking forward to using this Purellum Country Apple. And that is a beautiful apple to baste to make a nice apple pie. And you can make it all a mode by putting some vanilla bean ice cream on it. That'd be a nice complex vape.
So that's like apple isn't a fruit. It's not an apple candy, yeah?
No, that's more like literally if you were to take the yellowish apples and use
Yeah.
it to make an apple pie, that's what that tastes like.
Oh, God.
Country apple.
See, I like that, and I like apples. Apple crumble. Oh.
Ooh, apple crumble. Oh, yeah.
Oh. With custard.
My exuberance, I unplugged my label maker, so Mallory's recipe is going to have to sit here
Unmarked.
unmarked on the shelf, although it should be easy to identify because it's that odd-looking 60 ml bottle. I like it because it's
Sticks out.
softer.
Yeah.
That's the problem you get with these nice clear ones, is you get these crease lines in here, and after about 2 or 3 times of using it, you gotta pitch it
Yeah.
because you get a little hole pinhole on the one side.
I think it was with them as well. When you're getting that last bit of juice out and it's full of air, you just kind of like squash the hell out of it, don't you? So, it's like a vacuum. You're trying to squeeze this last bit of juice out, and it's
All right,
End
so we're
up
not
with
even going to do a
forearms.
shake and vape on this. We're going to let this sit here, and we'll sit here and evaluate it for the first time next week. And we're going to keep an eye on this thing and see how she does, see how she ripens. I'm definitely looking forward to trying it. Fantastic. So now it's time for a random recipe. And I'll add all these flavors to next week. So let's come up with, go to my flavor stash and go visit Sherlock Holmes. What can I make today?
What can it be? What can it be? Oh, William Dobson. Is there a rum and raisin chocolate juice? Oof. Wow.
Rum and raisin chocolate. I'm sure
Juice.
somebody could make it.
I like rum and raisin. I was a big fan of rum and raisin ice cream when I was in my day.
Chocolate
like
is hard
that.
to nail, flavor-wise.
I find chocolate. I've never found a good chocolate one yet.
Is the TFA double chocolate is supposed to be the best, one of the best to start as a base for chocolate. But chocolate and coffee have a lot of, in common. So to get a good coffee, you need a little bit of chocolate in there, and to get a good
Yeah.
chocolate, you need just a
bit
hint
of
of coffee in there.
Yeah.
Let's see, what are we making today? We'll jump 8 pages in.
Decisions. You know, the amount of recipes on that site now is phenomenal. There's thousands now, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely thousands.
And there's constantly being done, new ones added to it.
Yeah. Even some of them getting updated as well, you know what I mean? Where they've thought, right, well, like they say, they've tweaked them a bit and all that stuff. And there was the one on that page, a strawberry cheesecake version 1 and version 2.
Mm. Very common recipe is strawberry and cheesecake pairings.
Yeah.
Strawberry custard even.
Yeah. They just go together, don't they?
Yeah, strawberry vanilla ice cream, custard cheesecake with white ripe strawberry topping.
Raspberry
It's,
ripple as well. That's quite nice.
Yeah, vanilla swirl, strawberry ripe, and cheesecake graham crust. Very simple recipe.
Yeah. Cheesecake graham crush. Lots of strawberry, like, isn't there? There's tons of strawberry stuff.
Vanilla lemon cream.
Oh.
We go to the spaghetti place out here, Olive Garden. They have an amazing lemon cake with lemon cream icing on it.
Oh. God.
Ooh, lemon Sicily at 10%. That is a strong flavor to be running at 10%.
10? Jesus. Oh, I've got that. Is that the Bavarian cream? Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, just some 2% Bavarian cream, 10% cheesecake. Okay, I can understand pushing that hard. And then 5% vanilla swirl. But I'm not convinced about this lemon Sicily at 10%. Well, the only way to find out is to try it.
Why not?
I can sit here and make comments on it all day, but until I actually try it for myself, I don't have a right to comment on it.
I don't mind a bit of a lemon in a vape. You know, I like lemon drizzle cake. I've had a couple of vapes that resemble that, so it's quite nice.
Yeah, that lemonade that I made, it was amazing how much of a difference you were between the two brands. The Pure Elm lemonade versus the Flavor West lemonade. All right, let's adapt this.
It's surprising, like, because you'd think they'd all be pretty much similar, wouldn't you? But, you know, that's the beauty of it. Oh, damn. God, that's good. Jesus, that is good.
We're looking at 27%. And then with your secret sauce, that's why they were complaining. It's just slightly more than a 70-30 Mac. That's all right. Click Max VG that got rid of the warning. And then
I don't
everything
mind.
else
I
was
don't mind.
keeping the same.
I don't mind pushing the board out. I mean, I've had a 80-20 VG PG. Just nice, very nice.
Oh yeah, I used to get Max VG juice for the Arbiter. Loved how cloudy and aromatic it was. Although it does tend to pull the flavor back just a hair.
Yeah. I think that's
Fantastic.
what makes it clear. Is it the VG that gives you the clouds and the PG that holds the flavour? Am I right in thinking that?
Yeah, the PG is what carries your flavors, and then the VG is what creates the cloud.
The clouds,
because fog juice for DJs is literally just distilled water and vegetable glycerin. That's it.
Because I've heard they get some of the cloud chasing comps that the juice is just, it's not even juice, it's just flavoured VG, so they can crack out these clouds and do all the rings and cloud, you know, the tricks with us when they're doing the clouds. I don't even think they put PG in it. We had there was a guy in a talent show doing that. He was making bubbles and all sorts with his vape stuff. It was amazing. Clever.
Very wonderful. 1.86 for our secret sauce. And I'll switch overhead so you guys can see. That's the other thing I'm working on. I just installed a voice plugin for the streamer bot. I'll be able to call out my scenes that I want, and it'll automatically switch to it.
All right. That's kind of cool, like. You're getting very automated. very automated.
Well, yes, because once I have the automation set up, I could literally have you log into a website and you can change the scenes for me.
Oh, thank you very much.
You can be the producer.
I've been down that road, trust us.
So our Bavarian cream is going to be 0.6. That's 2% of this.
TFA, yeah. I've seen that used in a lot of custard recipes like the Bavarian.
Yeah, matter of fact, that's why it was so easy for me to get all these recipes, because these are all literally almost right next to each other. Because I've used them all before.
I see.
Vanilla Swirl is another one that I really love.
Oh.
It's at 5% and it's only 1.58.
That's not the truth.
So have you seen any new tanks out there that tickle your fancy yet?
Not really. Like I say, it was just the Plus V3. I think, see, with some of the lines of tanks, when they keep going on and on and on and on with them, I kind of get like, I think what else can you do with them? But obviously the Steam Crave, well, I've been a big fan of their stuff for a long time now. So obviously when that came along, I thought, what the hell, it's pretty recent, so it's not that old. But at the moment, there's nothing that tickles me fancy at the minute. Like, I've never seen nothing that I fancy yet.
Yeah, that's what it was for me too. The Steam Crave Randomizer Plus V3. I mean, I've got the V2, and there's nothing wrong with the V2, but I'm curious to see how this airflow change is going to affect the mesh deck that goes inside it. So I ordered the advanced kit, and I'll be able to test it with the mesh. Because I know how good it is in the Titan. If I can get that same experience in a little smaller form factor for the Plus V3, oh, mesh vapors are going to be rejoicing.
I think that the way they've set the F, because with the V3 they've now like got bottom airflow, and that makes the difference massively.
Yeah, but my question is, how can they do bottom airflow with a mesh? Because the mesh is just an arc that goes across the top.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a big, I say, if you can get the mesh deck for it, but I'm saying you can't close the bottom airflow off. It's there. It's there as a choice.
So probably it's going to be the same experience as it was on the V2 for mesh.
Yeah, it's good to,
because it's just side airflow, not the bottom.
And when you close the bottom off, you basically got your normal side airflow. Your 2 slits or your 1 slit. But for your normal coils, your normal bog standard coils, what you're going to put in, that bottom airflow makes, you can't have bottom airflow on its own, but it's very tight. It's really tight. It's literally mouth to lung. But when you open it up with, I have it one side slit open with one hole on the bottom airflow, and that's the sweet spot for me. It's absolutely mint.
Yeah, for dual coils, I think it's going to be fantastic. Definitely going to be an improvement.
For the mesh, you'd probably just sit with your side airflow. But obviously, when you put your mesh deck in, it probably close off the bottom airflow anyway, because it's got holes in the deck for the bottom airflow to come in. So you put the deck in, you'll probably lose them.
And there we have it. That's our recipe job done.
Give us a moment. I'll see if I can get it. Hold on. Sorry, not very unprofessional. 2 sheets.
Smells fantastic. Now for this, I got new cotton set up here in the drop solo. Flavor is pretty good on the drop solo. And in fact, I just picked up 2 more of these because I couldn't find the Bushido V3.
I'm sorry about that. Well, don't know if you'll be able to see that's your airflow config there. When you see that.
Yeah.
I'm sitting. See, I've got the one slit and the one airflow, but you can have it like all. That's like there's fully wide open. You've got your 2 slits in your bottom airflow, which that is very airy. That setting. But the bottom airflow on its own it's very tight. So I tend to have one side slit and one bottom airflow, and that is a lovely sweet spot on that.
Fantastic.
It's absolutely, honestly, you can buy the extra, you get an extension kit to make it. But I think the problem with steam crave stuff, if you put the extension tubes on, your flavour suffers massively. You lose a lot of flavour when you make the tanks taller. Because obviously the vape's got a more distance to travel, you know.
And it isn't so much the distance that it travels as much as how much the vape cools off while it's traveling up.
Condenses. Yeah,
and then it condenses.
Inside.
That's what a lot of people complain about with the aromizer stuff is they don't run it hot enough, and they complain about how their e-liquid condenses inside the chamber, and then every once in a while when they take a toot, they get a drop of e-liquid in their mouth.
Yeah.
And it's not the hot e-liquid from your coil popping, it's literally from condensation inside the air chamber.
The thing with steam crave tanks, they need power. It's as simple as that. Yeah. So that's what they're designed for. You've got to put something through them. I mean, I've got this here on. These coils are tri-core fuse clappings that came with it. I'm still using them. And they come out at 0.1, well, roughly about 0.1-ish joule, but I've got 0.12. And I'm running this at 3.4 volts, which is about, sorry, tell a lie, I'll bump that up. 3.5 volts, sorry, which is about just over 100 watts. And it is absolutely gorgeous. I've got it on the, anybody that's, I've got it on the Titan PWM mod there. This is the first one. It's not the latest one. I don't like the new one because that wheel, it looks like a spur off a cowboy boot.
Mm-hmm. That's what I got. Like that's the one I got. I got the newer one.
Yeah.
With the wheel on it. It's not quite a star. It just has a bunch of, it's like a wagon wheel without the rim.
Yeah, it's weird. But this one, that's just nice. It's just got a net, like a little, spot on. Again.
Very good, but there's no sweetness to this whatsoever. And I'm going to leave it the way it is because I want to see what this custard is like in a month with no sweetness added to it.
Yeah.
Because custard itself, is a rich texture to it and just a hint of sweetness. I'm going to leave it sit like this because I can always add sweetness later.
Yeah. Like I say, I'm not chuffed on this one too much. I mean, see the clouds this thing kick out is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Disappeared.
Oh yeah, you disappeared. I love it.
It's crazy that but like I say, with the steam crave tanks, put some power through them, and you'll get the rewards off them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. That is a chucker, and I'm not even pushing that. At 0.12, you should be way over 100 watts. But I ain't pushing that time. For what it is, the flavour is absolutely fantastic. Honestly, brilliant. I would say it's better than the V2, without a doubt. Just, I think the steam crave tanks. They're all basically the same. The design has never really changed much. You look at a steam, you can tell a steam crave tank just by looking at it by a mile away. But I think it's just the airflow configurations I'm working with now, and
the machining on steam crave products are immaculate. I have never heard of anybody complain about, getting a bad lot. No. I don't know if they pre-test every single one by hand testing it, fitting things, but fantastic.
It's good quality stuff. It's good quality stuff at a reasonable price as well. I mean, it is.
It is on the upper end of the scale, but for what you're getting, it is perfect value for the money.
Yeah, definitely.
Always.
And I've had tanks. I've still got the very first aromizer. And it hasn't felt a bit. The quality, the build, the last forever. There's nothing falls off them. This and O-rings, and everything's spot on. The O-rings, obviously, you change after a while because they just go brittle with a long time. But the actual physics and of the device, it's the threads are still buttery smooth and everything on them, and that absolutely built the last.
That is a very unique vape. Vanilla lemon cream. It definitely is going to need some kind of sweetness, I think, because it's drying my mouth out. Third or fourth vape, and then it's already starting to dry it out.
That's probably the lemon.
Mm-hmm. But the vanilla frosting that they put in that, and then the custard on it, once that custard develops, I think it's pretty well balanced.
Yeah.
And that lemon Sicily isn't overpowering like I thought it was going to be.
No?
Mm-mm. Yep.
So that's a one for the steep department.
Very much so. And that's why I decided to do this as a live show, because, you know, every single week, keep developing it. And then it gets to the point where after a month, you've got more flavors and you know what to do with.
I think that's probably going to take up a whole show at one point, all these taste tests of all the stuff.
Best of the year. There will be a show for best of the year. And then worst of the year. And then most improved recipes.
It'll take you a year to bling and vape them all.
Well, that's what I said. You know, it's tough to stay organized. Making sure that I remember to put labels on after every show for every bottle. I mean, yeah, I can go back and retaste it and stuff, but it's like, if I don't stay organized, at the end of the year, this is going to be a total disaster.
Yeah, just picking up on a comment by Dusty Country Road. He says, have we tried the Wisemac Indestructible RGA? If so, our opinions. I haven't, unfortunately, I'm afraid, so I couldn't tell you.
Oh my goodness.
What?
I was sitting here looking up. I'm like, oh, there's no change in the chat. Oh, there's no change in the chat. Now I scroll down and it's like, well, how many pages of chat do we have that I missed?
Yeah, I've been like picking up on the odd comment. Lance Ward likes a QB design. Yeah, I like them. I did get a bad one off them, but generally I like that stuff.
How you doing, Homer Simpson? Welcome to the show. Lance Ward, I had a pizza flavor once. You talked about that, what, a half hour ago?
Yeah, oh, you're way
behind. How far behind I am.
You're way behind.
Have you tried the Wismac Indestructible RDA?
I've never tried it, no. It's something I
do have a couple Wismac devices here that I haven't opened yet, but I don't believe the Indestructible is one that's in there. It's literally sitting back there in a laundry hamper.
Why don't you give us your opinion on it, Dusty? Is it good? Is it bad? What do you think of it?
Do you have it, Dusty Country Road? Or are you just considering buying it?
Yeah, but if he's got it, give us your input on it, but you know.
I haven't gone live on the Twitch channel yet. It was one of those ones where I reserved the channel, so that's what I used to log in onto ELR and a bunch of other places. And I just never got around to developing it. I wanted to get everything on YouTube ironed out, nailed out, and then it's literally just creating a second installation of OBS and using the virtual camera output from the first one to be the output for the second one. And the second one connects to Twitch and the first one connects to YouTube.
Yeah. You've got to get one working cop on before you push on to another one. Otherwise, you could have lots of headaches.
Ian Thomas says you can tell a Steam Crave by the multiple massive lock logos.
Yeah.
In my personal experience, the lock logos, you don't need to use that lock if you only have the single extension on there. When you start adding extensions on there, that's when you need to be able to lock your juice flow control.
I mean, I know some people that don't have the juice flow fully open when they vape. They just have about halfway. Just, it depends on your vaping style, but I would say, like I say, they need power, so I'd say they definitely need to get it open. Like, Ian Thomas, Lemon Sisley fades somewhat over time.
Oglekin, I'm going to be doing both. So you get to pick and choose whatever platform you like best.
Give him time, it'll come. Give him time.
Yeah, my problem is I'm too much of a perfectionist. I spent a year, fine-tuning my audio settings until it's finally a consistent output, and I can, move around a little bit without having to dramatically change the way it sounds. That was the hard part. And I've had, all different kinds of microphones. I've got the, the one I use a lot of time, but you got to literally stay the same distance away from it. It makes a big difference.
Oh, I've had a couple of them, yeah.
Yeah, and then I got a Sennheiser, boom microphone so I can have it out of frame. But then it's just like, if I move this way or this way, or if I turn this way, it's a dramatic difference.
It's like a shotgun mic going.
The shotgun microphone.
Yeah.
Now the ideal shotgun, it costs like $1,000.
Well,
because
like
these ones are
stuff.
super cardioid, and that's why you literally need to stay in the same place. If you stay in the same place, it's perfect. So when you record a video, it's easy to do that. But when you're out here trying to do live and move around, you need just a regular condenser mic.
Have you ever tried a lav mic?
Yes. The problem with the lav mic is my big screen I have in front of me.
Yeah.
You get that echo kind of delay.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
And it's like all the sound treatment, all the panels and the foam and the fiberglass I put in here doesn't do anything because it doesn't follow the 1/3 rule.
Yeah.
Like for this one, it's easy because, I've got this much distance between the microphone capsule and my hand. Well, it's more than 3 times this to the screen. So the screen doesn't come back into this. It's not an issue.
I mean, this Rode one I'm using, I'm sitting, I'd say, maybe a foot and a half. Hang on. There you go. Arms where my fingers are, I'm just roughly touching the mic there. So I'm a decent distance from it. It's not too bad.
Yeah, but
it's obviously
the wall is behind you. For me, when I put the microphone there, it would be touching the wall.
I'm with you.
And then the microphones, the super cardioids also pick up from the rear. They don't pick up from the side. They pick up from the front and the back. And the problem is the room echo, the room boominess would be picked up from the wall. Now I could turn my desk. If I turned my desk so that I was facing towards, away from the wall, which I thought about doing before, that would solve the problem.
I'm close to a wall. I'm like my computer. I'm in an alcove, if you can imagine, like an alcove, and the wall. There I'm touching that wall now. So it's about another 6 inches behind me, mic. So
yeah,
it's not too bad. Like because I thought I would have gotten a bit of echo out the alcove, like, but touch wood,
no, it sounds
whichever
good.
one you want. It's okay. I'm quite pleased with it, actually, for what it was, or what it is, because obviously I can take it off and chuck it on my camera and use it outside as well. So it's serving 2 purposes, really, for the price of one, as they say.
The very first video I recorded for this channel, I had the ideal setup because I was facing towards a big open area of my room. The bedroom was very wide. And because it was so wide, it never had to deal with any echoes. You had a big mattress in there, king size, California king mattress that absorbed, some of the sounds.
Yeah.
And the thing was, my microphone was off to the side, so the monitors, at the time I only had 2, wasn't an issue for the microphone.
Yeah.
But the audio interface was outdated, and once I updated that, then it became an issue where I reconfigured stuff and didn't realize what was going on until after I moved into this room. And then it's like, now I completely understand what different microphones do and how they work.
Yeah.
But
I did have a Marantz one. It was just like a desktop one, something like a snowball type thing, which was like a Marantz thing. And that was pretty all right. But like I say, you were like limited to where you could have it. You know what I mean? So you were like, Well, like I say, with a shotgun now, you can just get it out of the way. I mean, that's, it's on a mountain, it's out of the way, and plus you've got a bit of desk space as well. Because obviously you've got a desk mic sitting there, you're moving it about to do this and do that. And, it was a pain in the backside. Good cracking mic, but it was just a pain in the backside. You just had to keep moving it.
Yeah.
So I was never a fan of desktop mics. Never a fan. No, that
Ian
makes a
Thomas
difference.
wants to know. Ian Thomas says that he keeps his juice flow on the Ragnar just half open and it feeds fine for the max VG at 111 watts.
Yeah, yep, definitely. I know people that do run them. Like I said, if you're going to run it like super high temperatures, I would definitely wide open, just so it can keep up with the wicking. But generally, I mean, I've had that halfway open at about 120 watts, and it can still wick like a charm. It's just down to yourself. Because I mean,
Olgan
like I say,
wants to see the rest.
But when they're fully open, man, they do like a drink. My God.
Yeah, let me switch things up. I'm going to get rid of just some minor changes.
Lance, you're a lucky man. He's a single guy, so he can spend his money on vaping and quads. Lucky man.
So there's the setup. There's that laundry hamper I was telling you about. And then on that wall, you have the lighting, another shelf, and then sound treatment.
He's got a camera for everything, this guy, hasn't he?
The nice thing about the webcam is they're cheap.
Yeah.
I think we picked this one up for $60, Walmart.
I think the 920 was about 50 quid. The English 50 quid.
But there is a dramatic difference between a webcam and an actual real camera.
Oh, God, without a doubt. Definitely.
I'd like to get 2 more of these actual real cameras, either the M50 Mark II, so I can have clean HDMI out, or move up to the G50 for doing video, because I would like to do vape shop visits like I've done before for my celebratory things.
Oh, yeah.
But I'd like to be able to go and visit these vape shops and then interview the owners and, get their story and how they got to there, and then find out how they're dealing with the regulations and the changes that are going on. See what kind of experience they have with kids trying to come in and get stuff or whatnot.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, we kind of like toyed with an idea like that, just going out with a camera and just, walking up to a vapor and just ask them, pretty much about their vaping habits and why and whens and if they were smoking, like just doing a bit of stuff like that. But it's like this, it's like everything. It's just getting time. You know what I mean? It's a time issue. Plus, you're doing, in my neck of the woods, somebody might just give you a clip and tell you to bugger off.
Yeah, that's a possibility too.
Leaves the lead.
It really surprised me when I go and I do my traveling and stuff. Like when I go to camp, there's literally one vape shop that has somewhat of a decent selection of stuff. I mean, your choice on what is brand new, it takes them a while to get to the, getting stuff in.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of brick and mortars do with that, like.
Yeah, and you'll find a lot of old stuff that, just they bought, 20 of, and there's still 3 or 4 of them sitting there.
Yeah.
That are still
but
for sale.
That's where you get your bargains. Like I say,
you
don't have to rush out and get the latest and greatest. There's stuff that's maybe not a year old, It's they're selling for next to now, just so they can get rid of them, you know what I mean?
The challenge process in good vape shops in the UK. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
But the thing is, regardless of how good the vape shops do their challenge to, verify age, you're always going to have bad actors. And the tighter the regulations are, the more bad actors you'll have because they have more of an incentive to sell the stuff because there's more profit there.
I mean, I think there's also a lot of secret shoppers now floating about across various stores,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, my wife works in the funeral industry and a secret shop actually came in there. Can you believe that? Unbelievable. Hello, how much will you do me a funeral plan for when I die? Okay. Crazy.
And around here, the corner shops usually run by some Indian family that bought an old 7-Eleven or something that was going out of business. They sell whatever their customers ask for. That's what they're there for. They're there to make money, and they're to provide whatever the customer asks for. So if you have a customer that's constantly walking in and going, listen, man, this is what I use. And I'm here every day anyway, getting my snacks on my way to work or whatever, or my lunch for work. If you stock this, I'll buy it from you instead of buying it from the guy down the street.
Definitely.
So he's going to get his suppliers in order and order a case in.
Definitely.
Makes him an extra $5 a day. Why wouldn't he?
Like I say, we've just got a shop over here. It's like a corner shop type of thing, and he's been shut down. I think it's been 3 months now. Selling under the counter cigarettes, contraband cigarettes. He's been caught numerous times. They've just fined him on the last occasion, but this time they've actually shut him down for 3 months, and he's still shut. And he was selling, imported cigarettes, shall we say?
Yeah.
The thing is, he'll open up and he'll do it again.
Oh yeah.
Not because people want it. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and you take a look at what do they actually get fined?
Probably
5,000 maybe.
The thing is, when you do that kind of thing and you just do a fine or a temporary shutdown, they're trying to try and get cleverer. They think of other ways to hide them and all that shit and make it more difficult for them to be found. You know what I mean? So
plus, they're going to be more careful about who they sell it to.
Exactly.
Once they've gotten busted.
Yeah.
They'll build a little cubby underneath the cashier that they can only reach into with a key, and
they just become more cautious and more wary. But they'll still sell it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, as long as people want it, there's always somebody who'll give you it. Simple as that. Across everything.
Well, let's make up one more random recipe today. Let's see what we can come up with.
Let's do a shake and go one. You never go up straight away.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
That would be spot on. Do the shake and vac. That just reminded that advert there. Shake and
Sweet
vac.
Fuji. It's a simple recipe. Only one ingredient is the Fuji apple from Capella. And just a little bit of sweetness. Not very much sweetness there either, but that's a simple shake and vape.
Lance said, Vaping Heed, in your early vaping reviews, you had a setup. What happened? I don't know. That enlightened us on that one. I don't know what you mean, but I've had loads of setups. They only get the snap of the wrist. Shaking back and put the fresh. There you go. Ian Thomas knew what I was talking about. Shaking back and put the freshness back. It was basically a carpet freshener. You just sprinkled it all over your carpet. And there was a big, I think it was in the 80s, 70s, 80s, and there'd be somebody dancing about, hoovering, going, do the shake and back and put the freshness. A very old cheesy advert. Oh, God. Whatever happened to adverts like that, man, they were so funny.
Oh, yeah.
They were brilliant. What's the turn? There's true love, William. Yeah, true love. What we got? Sweet Fuji. Ooh.
Fuji Apple, 1.95 grams. It's 6.5% of this 30 ml bottle.
Fuji.
Think of you and of all I should have done.
I like it.
Told me the thing would shape or form that you're in.
Yeah,
pretty
this
accurate.
this YouTube and streaming stuff can be an expensive game, can't it?
It can be very expensive. Depends on how deep you dive into it and how good you want your
Yeah.
stuff to look.
Definitely. Even basic setups, they're not cheap. Oh, it's a half decent DSLR on its own, it's £1,000 minimum.
If you're satisfied with just doing things, with webcams, you could probably get this started up pretty easy, especially because OBS is pretty much free, and DaVinci Resolve is there's a free version available. But
yeah.
But once
But
you
like I
start
say,
getting in there and you compare yourself to other people, it's like, my picture doesn't look near half as good as their stuff. And you get your first DSLR and it's like, oh my God, what a difference in the picture. And when I go close, it'll zoom in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Webcam doesn't do that.
But even mobile phone technologies have come a long, long way as well. Some of your mobile cameras, the quality's fantastic on them.
Yeah.
I think that's what I've done with mine. I think I used my phone as a webcam at one point. I've actually plugged it into the direct to the computer and used it as an actual webcam. And it was spot on.
Yeah, the problem is you can't use that for anything any length of time because your phone will heat up and your battery will wear out.
Definitely. Well, it's DSLRs as well. I think you only get about 30 minutes on them recording, if you're recording.
That's because it's also trying to charge the battery. If you pull that battery out and put a dummy battery in and then power it externally, I've never had a problem with my Canon overheating.
No, that's what I've got. I've got a dummy in this one. When I'm like doing lives or streaming or whatever, and it's been spot on because you're not recording, you're just actually just using it as an eye, aren't you? Really, you're not really working the camera that hard.
No, because it's not recording anything. It's literally just outputting what you see.
Yeah. I'd imagine if I was recording now, it would have probably overheated by now, easy.
I'm surprised nobody's come up with a webcam that actually has real focus capabilities. Elgato came out with the face cam, and that's what I switched out the one camera that I hardly ever use. Yeah. That, I'll do as an intro for my scene. But it doesn't have focusing. It's just a universal focus. You could be, a foot away or, 6 feet away, and it's still the same. You're in focus.
Yeah.
But
like no depth of field of it, has it? Just everything's in focus.
Yeah. Somebody needs to come out with a webcam that you can actually change lenses on it. And the lenses have the autofocus built into it.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be the midpoint between where, your basic DSLR is with clean HDMI out and where your webcams are. So you're looking at like $350, $400 price range.
Mm-hmm.
If they came out with that, if I could buy 2 webcams that have the focusing capabilities and the color aspect ratios and the control of shutter speed and whatnot, like a DSLR, I'd buy 2 of those instead of another camera.
Yeah.
Because they're fixed, mounted in place.
I mean, that's the beauty about it. I mean, at the end of the day, DSLR, it's not designed for video. It's a camera. It's for taking pictures. That's basically the main function of it, Video, you could go down the camcorder route, but like I say, the new ones, the 4K ones, and all that, a lot of them have still got fixed lenses on them. You know what I mean? You need the camcorder so you need a camera or a camcorder where you can remove and change the lenses. And that you do, obviously, you can't get cameras that do that, but you're talking Hollywood movie prices, because it's Hollywood movie cameras, you know what I mean? Yeah. There's nothing in the pro consumer range.
Blackmagic came out with theirs, and that's fantastic for movie production quality stuff. But the thing is, they don't have autofocus.
Yeah,
it's designed for movie production where you have somebody literally manually operating the lens.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's
for
like I say at the
YouTube.
moment it's either one way or the other. At the moment, like you say, there's not an in between, which would be brilliant. But how much money would the manufacturers lose though if you've done something like that? You know what I mean? They'd rather sell you a $2,000 camera than a £100 webcam.
Well, look at Canon. You know, I bought my first Canon M50, and it doesn't have clean HDMI out. It's got their EOS webcam software, but it downscales it to like 576 by whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and then you go to 1080p or you want even 4K output, you can output it through the HDMI on the Mark II. And they charge you an extra $250.
Yeah. Do you not think that's a bit of a disappointing thing as well? Like you buy like a decent DSLR, and the software they give you for it, with it just
limit it. They could have clean HDMI on the Mark I. There's nothing limiting that besides the software.
Exactly.
But they're going to charge you an extra $250 if you want clean HDMI out.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolute madness. But again, like I say, they're designed to take photographs, not video, so. Plus, I think like sometimes, like with the DSLRs, I mean, if you get very seriously into it, you can pick picture profiles where you can shoot in log footage, which gives you greater powers for post-production for your color grading and all that stuff. Whilst like your run-of-the-mills, they'll just use, I don't know, an MP4 or something which is very hard to edit, not edit, but to color correct or whatever, you know what I mean? So you've got that log capability as well. So I think, a webcam that could do that, interchangeable lenses and shooting log. Wow.
Well, the big thing for me was I always wanted to be able to do these live streams, so my focus was always based on the, constant video shooting, getting it right at the source.
Yeah.
So
again, it depends on what you're using the camera for, which is a big decision on what you're buying, it really.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't solely use my camera for video, I take it out and I shoot photographs as well. So again, it's a 2-for-1 bonus, really. That reminds me, I need to get out more. Haven't been out for a while on a shoot.
I took my camera, my original Canon M50 with us when we went to camp, and I just took a couple pictures, but not as much. I should have spent a little bit more time out walking around, taking pictures and stuff like I used to do.
I love doing that, but like I say, it's sometimes just getting the time to do it. Because like I say, where I'm at in the UK, we're pretty blessed with the countryside. We're an hour's drive away from the Lake District, 35 minutes away from the coast, if that. So we've got a bit of best of both worlds, it's a nice part of the world.
0.14 dual coil. There we go. 50 watts just wasn't enough.
Plenty of vapor coming off that one.
Recurve.
Oh, yes.
Fuji apple. Very simple. Has the scent of it. Don't really get the mouthfeel of an apple, though.
No.
You get the taste. You can recognize it as apple. The smell is definitely the Fuji apple.
Yeah.
But it lacks that body of an apple. Like when you perfect example is squeezed green apple. Squeezed green apple is a commercial liquid that literally tastes like you bit into a green apple. Every little experience from biting through the skin on the apple to the meatiness of the apple, chewing it in your mouth and getting that juicy tart apple flavor fill your mouth. And then after, when you exhale on it, it leaves your mouth with that tart feeling like you just ate a green apple. That's what's missing in this. You get the smell of an apple. You get the rough taste of it. You don't get the sweetness, and there's no tartness.
So would you think it would need steeping a bit, or maybe change it about a bit?
I would add to this.
Add.
Let's put the scale out.
How much you thinking?
Well, we'll take a look. We put 6.5% of this Fuji apple in. So let's augment that. We're going to get some double apple.
Haha. It's adding.
Double apple, I think we're going to go with like a 0.6. Be at 1%.
I was just telling Alex that before we come on air that we've got a new Prime Minister, Lance. Yep, the UK is in the toilet. See, I didn't really know much about her. I don't know if she's pro vaping or against vaping. I know a few Labour politicians aren't pro vapers. I just wonder.
I'm going to switch you over. We're going to research this new TFA sweetened tart that I just got.
Show me as well with that shaking back.
Only Lance Wart says the only difference between Liz and Boris is the dress.
Oh, you're probably right on that now. Hey God!
You should have heard the conversation before we went live today. If you don't talk about showing our age, we're sitting there talking about what kind of music we listened to back when we were younger.
My God, yeah.
I was talking about Elton John and Billy Joel.
It seems such a long time ago. Yeah, when you think about it, though, all that music stood the test of time. Some of these artists are still going today, so you know.
All right, so we've got somebody on here that says that this High Plains Vapor says TFA sweet and tart. Name says it all. TFA is also, it's sweet tangy. It's good at 5 to 7% or at about 2 to 3% mix with just about any fruit flavor. So 2% would be 1.2, so 1.8 would be 3%. We're going to add that to this.
Lance is 51. We're still young at heart, man. We're still young at heart. Our bodies might be aging a bit, but our minds are still young. That's the way I look at it. Try it anyway.
Close enough. And if I remember correctly from the recipe, this wasn't very sweet. 0.4% of super sweet. So let's double that.
You can hear the cogs churning there. He's gonna get this running better. He's looking quietly confident. He's looking quietly confident. He's 20, too young. Gary Pussy. Here we go.
There's something different about the way we are.
The sweet tart flavor is just a little too strong in this. Because it literally tastes like a sweet tart. You know, the little candies?
Yeah.
You get twisted ends.
There's something different about us.
So the initial taste that I'm now getting is the sweet tart flavor.
Yeah.
But you're getting a lingering apple flavor in your mouth now. I'll have to play with this for a while. I'll come up with a better recipe for you guys next week. I'm literally going to need to take, I think I have some sour that I can put in there separately, and it literally just makes your juice have a little sourness to it. And replace the sweetened tart with that little bit, like a 0.5% of the sourness. And I think we're going to stick with the sweetness we got now.
I think the green apple flavor, like green apples, have got that little bit of sourness on, like when the taste of them, haven't they?
Mm-hmm. It's good. I think my wife actually might like this the way it's set up now, because it's got that resemblance that she can characterize as the sweet tarts.
Yeah.
But then there's this curiosity flavor of apple that kind of lingers there.
That's kind of confusing.
Yeah, you don't expect to see a sweet tart, vape liquid have an apple finish.
An apple aftertaste type of thing. You'd be thinking, hang on.
It's just weird enough to pique your curiosity, I think.
Definitely.
But that turned out pretty well.
Yeah, as long as you enjoy it, that's the main thing. It's not disgusting or bitter like that poor lad's juice was.
And the sweetened tart should be called sweet tart flavor. Because that's literally what I get the image of when I first vape it. Is just like you pop one of those little candies in your mouth.
Yeah.
It's good, but it's not what I was going for.
Yeah. But do you not think that's part of mixing as well? Sometimes you accidentally stumble on something and think, "Bye, this is good. It's better than what I was
like
thinking."
I did with that cherry whiskey.
Yeah. You've just stumbled on it. You went for something, you stumbled on it, you thought, "I'm going to keep this like this." And then you realize, how the hell did I make it again?
That's the one thing when you get a simple recipe like that, there's only one ingredient in there. It's like, okay, let me just throw this in there. Let me try that. And I'm recording it. So if I really do come up with something I really like, well, I know exactly what the measurements were on the scale. I can make the percentages match.
Beauty of recording, isn't it?
Same age as me, Lance.
Yeah, he's a young pups, man, compared to me.
Ogolkin says that he's 20. Too young for here. Depends on what country you live in. By your name, I would guess that you're in Europe somewhere. So for you, you're of age.
What country is he from? Yeah, what country are you from, bud? Put it in. Olga Yilmaz.
Mallory Gates says Boris Johnson is just the UK version of Gary Busey.
He was a character. He was a character. At the end of the day, though, I mean, our Prime Minister, and I suppose it'd be the same for the American President, they're just the puppet that deals with the public. They don't always make the decisions. It's all the people behind closed doors. Like us, we've got House of Lords and all that crap, and obviously in the States, you've got, the Senates and all that stuff. So, the people behind the scenes that do the final decision on the whatever needs to be done. These guys are just the puppets, and they get the shit, really. It's as simple as that.
It's like I can't get over how come election time, everybody's only worried about who's the next president. Who's the next president?
Yeah.
You know what? It doesn't matter who the next president is, unless he's going to push the nuke button. It doesn't matter who the next president is because Congress makes all the laws, and these guys have been in office longer than we've been alive.
Exactly.
I mean,
I'm saying.
All the people that are leading the Senate and even in the House of Representatives, we've got people that have been there before I was born is when they came to Washington, D.C. And they've been there the whole time.
Exactly.
You wonder why things don't change? Those are the people you need to change if you want to see real change.
Definitely. Oh, look, and Yilmaz says he's from Turkey.
Says it's illegal to sell vape stuff in here, and the worst is that for my country and the economy. Yeah?
Yeah. It's Turkey.
But I bet you can find a pack of cigarettes just by turning around and looking at the first store you see.
You probably get the cheapest chips. Get them cheapest chips out there as well.
Yeah. India's the same way. India went and banned vaping, and then they complain about the black market. Well, what did you think was going to happen? Exactly. Especially when people realize how much better they feel when they do this instead of smoke. The thing sells itself.
It's prohibition. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It never will work.
Never will. Say that Indians in a right old kerfuffle at the minute, aren't they? Flooded and all. There's a Pakistan, the floods and everything over there. All the cigarettes will be soaking now.
Yeah. Well, that cracked me up a couple of weeks ago on the news when I was sitting there looking and researching, cigarette smuggling and stuff, and for Ukraine to come up, I'm like, they're in the middle of a war. Well, why would cigarette smuggling be an issue that you would see in the press?
Big bucks, man.
In the middle of a war. Mm-hmm. Well, middle of a war, things get even more exaggerated as far as, expense goes. Things get harder to get, and it gets to the point where, even a pack of cigarettes is easy to make money on for somebody to go to Poland and then drive back. They can get across the border.
It's like I say, because it becomes harder to get, I suppose. Like, I mean, you look in all the previous conflicts and wars, they've traded with cigarettes and chocolate. They've been the big traders, haven't they? To get information or whatever. You know what I mean? It's but I think I say in the middle of a war, like a cigarette thing, like it's wow. But when you think about it, it's a good opportunity for them because obviously the government's got their eye off the ball, haven't they? The government's got, they're trying to win this war, so everything else takes, second precedent sort of thing.
Well, that's why we started out today with the news, taking a look at Scotland right now with the NHS. And it's like, I know that the NHS supports vaping, especially for people who want to quit smoking. Yeah. And it was a pleasure to see that they banned smoking on hospital grounds, but still allow you to vape on hospital grounds. It's for a smoker, saving that extra, 60 or 80 steps to the property line might convince them, hey, just try it. And then once you try it and you do it every day, you don't feel like buying a pack of cigarettes.
Nope.
Because you meet all your needs that your cravings are, and you find something that's actually more enjoyable because of the flavors.
Definitely. I mean, flavors for me are a big plus. They're a must. I don't think I would have quit just vaping mint and menthols and that. I just wouldn't have done it.
No.
Flavors were a big influence for me. Like
that was my panic situation of looking at the way that the restrictions and regulations were, and then you had the vape mail ban and all this, and I'm like, you know what? I'm getting into DIY now because eventually there won't be an option. If I want flavors, that's the only way I'll be able to get them. So that's why we got into DIY, and that's why we do this show every week.
It's just scary stuff. And like I say, it's like you've got the here and now, but you've got to think, where's it going to go? Is it going to be a total ban, or you just don't know, do you?
Yeah.
I very much doubt it'll be a total ban because obviously big tobacco has been buying into vaping, so might hit them in the pocket if it's a van vaping, but you just don't know, do you?
Oh, this past week on the news, I was so excited to see in Frankfurt at the airport, British American Tobacco BAT created that inspiration booth where you can go in and, they have their Views vapes that they sell. And they literally went and formulated little drinks that you can taste to be able to find out what kind of flavor you're going to get out of that vape.
Wow.
It just reminded me of, when I first wanted to quit smoking back 2016 or something. And I walked into the vape shop and they had tanks set up in front of each bottle of e-liquid that they were selling. And they would put it on a mod for you and give you a little, disposable tip. You got to sample your juice before you bought it.
That's right. They did do that in the UK, but it was like maybe for like a promo. You know, after they got a new juice, they put a promo, and like you say, they put a number of tanks out where you could try it. It was more promo stuff. But like you say, it should be more run of the mill where you can't try different flavors, especially if you're just quitting, because that's the thing that can put people off as well. They might buy a certain juice and not don't like that, and that's it. They'll never go back to it. You know what I mean?
I thought it was brilliant for them to do that. They have the scratch and sniff cards that you can smell it, and then they literally have a little bottle of drink that you can taste it to find out what it actually tastes like.
Don't go down that road because they'll be selling it in drinks next. Here, have some pineapple, guava, and raspberry.
Yeah, but the thing is, all those little drinks don't have any nicotine in it, because that would make it illegal for them to do that.
Yet.
Well, I don't know too many countries that are liberal enough to allow that to happen. Even in the UK, I don't see that happening.
No, but they'll leave that to what they do now, the end user. They're the juice. You want to put that in, it's entirely up to you. Got nothing to do with us.
Yeah, that'd be too easy to overdose on it.
Yeah.
Lance Ward says, if the government are worried about vaping, how about the laughing gas and the damage it's doing to kids? And
oh, yes.
I talk about this on the news all the time about the goofy challenges that these kids come up with. Snorting condoms? What? You got so much free time on your hand, you're going to go buy a condom to snort it? That's not what we used it for when we were young.
No. I never put on that in my nose, like, never.
And they really need to take a look at the science of it, because it's like, you know, this whole underage thing, when you take a look at it. What would you rather if it was your daughter, because your daughter and my daughter are about the same age, if she was going to pick up a product to consume nicotine, what would you rather her pick up?
Well, a vape device, obviously.
Yeah, because it's 95% safer. It should be freely available regardless of age.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, like I say, like teen vape and epidemics and all that. I mean, well, you know, if they're smokers, I mean, I think I actually done a video about this. Just look at, like, you know, everybody's, you know, the teen vapers, that, you know, it's a damaging issue with vaping, you know, but it's like we've all said, you know, teenage experiment, etc. But for the teenagers that actually start smoking, I think vaping should be made available to them.
Yeah.
To get them off them at an early age. I think with smoking, if say they start smoking at, say, I don't know, 12, 13, if you can nip it in the bud there and then at a young age, then they won't smoke. But if you leave it where they're smoking for more and more and more years,
the damage is being done year after year and year after year until they get to be of age that they can legally go buy these other things. Yep. And by then, how much damage have they done to their body?
Yeah. And plus, you know, the longer you smoke, the harder it is to quit. It's as simple as that. Definitely.
Ian Thomas asks, what do you call a man with a condom on his snout? Fuck knows.
Oh my God.
Oh, never a dull moment. Never a dull moment, I'll tell you.
That's a barrel screamer, that one, like.
Hey, we're all here to have a good time. And like I said, you know,
that's what
we can empower you guys to make this same stuff at home. If it's banned in your country, you can find the ingredients readily available. Just make sure your flavorings are water soluble, not oil soluble, and you're good to go. The rest of the stuff is readily available for all kinds of other purposes. You can make soap, hand lotion, and whatnot.
Well, this is it. I think, like I say, the VJ and PJ, they use it in other stuff every day, you know. It's even in your food, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's in your medicine.
Medicines, everything.
Albuterol inhaler has PG in it.
Yep.
And like I said, the fog juice I used when I DJ'd on the weekends. That's all vegetable glycerin and distilled water. So the only thing that can truly hurt you in here is the flavoring. Yeah. And the scientists have already done the research on it. 0.5% chance of cancer. Yeah, you could eliminate 99.5% of all cancers caused by tobacco if people vaped instead of smoked. It's common sense.
The odds are much better. The odds are much better. No doubt.
And it says the harms cannot exceed 5% that of smoking. Well,
Exactly.
that simple.
It's crazy, and it's sometimes you just feel like you're banging your head against the wall, trying to get the message across, but it's not rocket science at the end of the day. Like I said, science is there, facts are there. It's not made up. The facts,
Can someone please say that to the Turkey government? They're not the only government. We all need to stand up for it. Unfortunately, this is the only consumer industry where the consumer needs to stand up for their right to keep using the product.
Definitely.
The old ones are the best, just like us, Lance Ward says.
Yeah.
Ian Thomas concurs. Fantastic.
Love it. Love it.
Well, unfortunately, that brings us to the 2-hour mark. I think it's time for us to wrap this up once again.
Again, Jesus, wow.
Time flies when you're having fun. Just sitting here chit-chatting and mixing random recipes and talking about whatever people want to talk about.
We're getting like old fishwives sitting nattering. No wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
So I'll leave it to you. Say your farewells to the audience out today.
Yep, it's again, thanks for having us on. It's becoming a habit, this.
Hey, if you enjoy the habit, you're welcome on anytime. Every week if you want. I don't care.
Yep, to all the guys in chat, some of these shows wouldn't be the same without you guys there. So thank you all very much for joining us. Again, same time, same place next week. Hope to see you all there soon. I'll say my farewells. Thank you very much, guys.
Peace, love, and a hunky vape to all of you out there. Catch you next week.
Take care.
I pull into your driveway, it's a Saturday night. You look like $1,000,000 wearing that dress I like. You're smiling, but there's something missing in your eyes. Girl, I can tell that you have something on your mind. But I will make you forget all your sorrows. Let go like there's no tomorrow. Let's have a drink, just relax, all your